Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the call today. And if you're on this call, it's because you are registered for the upcoming Great American Real Estate Summit in Daytona next month. And I just want to take a few minutes and give you an update on what's going to happen and how you should prepare. So when you come, you get the most out of it. It will not take me an hour to do this. I know we got an hour scheduled, but we're going to get done prior to that. Thank you for taking the time during the middle of your day or tuning in. And if you're listening to a recording of this, thank you for listening. So let's start out by first saying if you are registered and you have not registered your guest, we need you to do that. And if you have guests that you want to bring, right now they're only $100 each, so you can call the office and add people. And what a great place to take anybody that might be interested in what you're doing, because if they go to this and come out of it, they'll have a different mindset and probably a whole lot easier to get along with, especially if you're married to them. So make sure you bring anybody and everybody that has any interest or that you want to tag along with you to this event. Now, got to say, this is not a tourist event. Even though we're going to be in Daytona, we got this thing jam-packed. It's absolutely full, and every single hour something is going on in it. So I'm going to run down that schedule with you to start with, and then you'll know how to plan your trip. We open at 7 o'clock on the 17th, which is a Tuesday, and registration actually starts at 3 o'clock that afternoon. And you want to be there, make sure you're there on time on Wednesday night or Tuesday night, because we'll have our opening ceremony, but then right after that we're going to have the Eagle Show. And you don't want to miss that. That'll be the first night. And then the next morning, we actually start at 8 a.m., and we're going to go to 10 o'clock that night. Now, of course, some of these sessions are optional, and we know you're human, and we also know you need a little bit of rest from time to time, but we're going to pack it full, and you can attend whatever you want to attend, but we're going to start that day off at 8 a.m., and I will personally be doing 5 presentations that day that I am currently preparing, and one of those will be a deal structuring session, because we're going to start these deals right off the bat. I'll get back to that here in a minute, but the deal structuring is probably one of the biggest highlights of the event for people who actually bring the leads, because we'll send you home with money coming soon. And when I talk money, I'm talking $15,000, $20,000, $25,000, $30,000. You're going to see a lot of those kind of deals happen right before your eyes when you're there. That evening, on Wednesday, we are going to have a special dreams class from 5 to 6:30. And actually that's good timing, because we have to clear out the room and give the hotel staff time to set up for our banquet, which will follow the dreams class. And the dreams class is where we're going to educate you on how to use this new Dreams CRM system that comes with our $297 package. And frankly, everybody that's interested in buying and selling houses should be plugged into this, because it just makes life so much easier. And literally will replace a full-time employee, and you'll be amazed at what it does for you. So during that time, we're going to make sure you get educated on that. And then when that's over, we will have our banquet that evening, and that's where we will graduate some of our masters, and you'll get fed good. And we'll have a good time that night. And right after that, we're going to have the Marshall Silver Show. Marshall Silver is a hypnotist, and if I were you, I wouldn't volunteer, but I know I'm wasting my breath on that. Just remember, there are people in the room with cameras, but anyway, you'll love Marshall's show. We have Marshall many, many times, and he's absolutely a hit every time he comes, and you'll laugh so hard your stomach will hurt. Thursday morning, we start at 8 o'clock sharp, and we're going to go to 9:30 that night. And I'll be on stage 5 more times that day. They're working me to death. They're certainly getting their money's worth out of me, what little bit they pay me over there at Global. And 2 of those sessions will be deal structuring, and one of those will be late night deal structuring. So what we've done is we set the schedule up so if you can make it, if you can, force yourself to get in the room that evening, the last thing we will be doing is live seller calls on that. Be Thursday evening. So there will be live seller calls, and another session that day will be on deal structuring. See, we're gonna have so many people bringing in so many property information sheets that I'm put deal structuring in here every single day to make sure we get through all of them we can get through. Now, on Thursday, we're going to have at least 3 $1,000 cash drawings, plus a whole bunch of other prizes. And in fact, we're going to be drawing for stuff every single day, thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth. All you got to do is be there and have a ticket, which you'll get when you check in. And Thursday evening, we're having our networking session. That's where we put experts at tables, and you move. They don't move. You move. You move from table to table and decide who you want to ask questions to, and people really love that session. That'll be the last thing we do on Thursday evening. Friday morning, we start at 8 o'clock again. We will have 2 deal sessions that day. And that, by the way, that day don't end until 10 o'clock p.m. And one of those deal sessions will be late as well. And that happens to be Inauguration Day, Friday, January the 20th. So we're going to broadcast Trump's inauguration ceremony, and that's at noon. So we're going to do that during lunch, and you'll be able to watch that live. And we're going to try to have lunch right outside the door so you can go grab your lunch and bring it in as well, so you don't want to miss that. Of course, if you don't want to sit in on that, that is your choice as well. The room will be open to anyone who wants to partake. Now, Friday is the day that we're going to have this beach party polar plunge thing, and they're going to do everything they can to actually get me to take a dip into the ocean. I'm going to do everything I can to get out of it, but it's on the schedule that I'm supposed to take a plunge, and the only reason we're doing that is to raise money for our charity, which is K9 for Warriors. Very, very good charity for military veterans who come home and they need a dog. This charity is located here in Jacksonville, and I know it's all located all over the country, but it's a great charity that we support. And if you want to take the polar plunge with us, we would ask you to put up a $20 donation for K9 for Warriors, 100% of which will go to them. And, of course, if you don't want to take the polar plunge, which is totally understandable to me, you can still put up donations. They'll accept money whether you jump in the ocean or not. And if you do take the plunge, we're going to have a T-shirt for you, and the T-shirt's going to say, "I took the polar plunge with Ron LeGrand," which, you know, how valuable is that going to be for you? I mean, you could put that on eBay and at least get $5 for it, or whatever you want to do with it. Now, that evening, once we take the polar plunge, you're going to come back and you're going to go to dinner, but we're going to have some evening sessions, and one of those will be how to find and hire and train an acquisitionist. Ryan and Lynette Wolf are very, very good at that, so I've asked them to schedule that session if you want to attend that, because I've found that most real estate entrepreneurs, once entering the business, sooner or later want to replace themselves, especially the part about calling the sellers and making appointments and going and visiting the house, and that's called an acquisitionist. So an acquisitionist is a person who literally runs your business for you, so you don't have to. I've had several acquisitionists, and I'm telling you, the business is a lot better without them, plus you'll be able to ramp it up faster with an acquisitionist because literally they're doing all the work. We're going to have a whole bunch of big drawings on Friday as well, give away cash prizes and other prizes, so it'll be a jam-packed day, and we're going all the way up to 10 o'clock that evening as well. So deal structuring late night as well as during the day. And then on Saturday, which is our last day, we'll go from 8 to 5. 2 more deal structurings that day. In fact, that's kind of my cleanup day, where we get through as many deals as we can that we haven't already gotten through. But during that process, I'm going to do 4 different skits, and I'm preparing handouts for these skits. And one of those skits will be making the seller's call to the seller. Another one of those skits will be visiting the home, and I'll have handouts for the key points that you don't want to forget when you're calling the seller or visiting the home. We'll have another skit on actually calling the buyer and pre-screening them after we gotten a little information from them, again with a handout with key points. And then we will actually have a skit on the buyer meeting where we set the buyer down, get the most money out of them we can, and then arrange for the attorney to close it 2 or 3 days later. I thought it would be kind of cool for you to see these things in action, so that's going to be on the last day. On the last day also is where we'll have our final charity auction. Debbie, you on here? Are we doing a live auction?
Yes, I'm here, Ron.
We're doing
Oh, I'm sorry. The auction was going to be, it was going to be a silent auction.
So in other words, the auction is going on throughout the event. So there'll be a booth with auction items in it. Is that it? And then they bid on them?
Yes.
Open bidding? Open
Yep.
bidding? Okay.
Yes.
And then on Saturday, we just announce who the winners are. Is that it?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. So that'll be fun. All right. And we're going to close at the closing. Of course, we'll have our closing ceremonies, but we're also going to have a bunch of drawings that day. And of course, somebody's going to go out of there with a brand spanking new Chevrolet Camaro, and it's red, isn't it, Debbie?
Yes.
Okay. So
red one.
Somebody's going to win the new car Saturday afternoon at or about between 4:30 and 5 o'clock. So, are you lucky? All right. Let's talk about this charity thing, because here's what we'd like for you to do. We'd like for you to bring something to sell. Now, what's the definition of something? Now, of course, this is optional. We're not, you don't have to bring something for charity to enter to the door, but we sure would appreciate it if you would. And here's some ideas that we've had in the past to work very well. If you have a timeshare and you're not going to use that timeshare in 2017, well, come on, let's bring it and we'll auction it off. Let somebody else use it. Or a vacation rental. If you happen to own one or more vacation rentals, then you have a whole bunch of weeks throughout the year that you're not going to be able to sell. Let's donate them. And incidentally, these donations are tax deductible. So you can bring these things and get a write-off for them, and why not? Better to get a write-off than having an empty unit. Maybe you make stuff. Maybe you have a craft. Maybe you I know we've given away many things in the past where people made them and brought them in, and they're kind of specialty items. We love to have them. I mean, and by the way, if you can't bring it, just bring a photo of it, and then we will ask you to ship it to the winner after the event is over. So you don't have to lug some 6-foot thing in that you made or whatever that might be. But obviously we'd love to have it on site if possible. But we can always have it shipped from the building. But, of course, you have to get it there first. Maybe you have services. Maybe you are a professional or do some kind of services that would be of value to our participants. And, obviously if they got to come to your place to get these services, it might not be a good thing. But maybe you do provide services that you can deliver online or by phone or whatever, maybe consulting or whatever. I mean, you know what you can bring and what you can't bring. And so just tell us what you have when you check in, and we would certainly appreciate your help in raising money for the K9 for Warriors. And if it's a physical item, just leave it with us when you check in, and we'll put it out on display, and everybody will see it at the auction table. Okay? We are also going to have a trade show coming up. A trade show, I mean, would be a pretty good-sized trade show. And you'll find vendors in the trade show that are of value to your business, and most of them are nationwide. Some of them are a little bit on the local side, but most of them are nationwide. But the trade show is also the center, the hub, for activities that will be going on during the week. For example, there will be cash drawings in the trade show every single day provided by our vendors. Our vendors will be giving away probably $500 cash drawings. I don't know how many we're going to have, but they'll be giving away money every single day, largely because I told them that's probably the best thing for them to give away. I've never met anybody that didn't like a cash prize. And they will be their products and services will be out there for you to ask questions about, and there will be some items you can purchase from our vendors. Some won't have anything for sale there. Of course, they all have something for sale, or they wouldn't be there. But sometimes it's things you just couldn't buy there. Sometimes some of the items you will be able to buy there if you want to. And speaking of that, Global is going to have a big general store. That means we're going to have all kinds of cool things on sale that only apply to us. Most of them say I buy houses on them, and shirts and hats and all kinds of stuff that we have had made just for this trade show. We'll have a booth there. You'll have plenty of time. to visit the booth, talk to the vendors, talk to us, and get your questions answered. And, of course, the hours will be posted on an agenda. When you get there, you'll see a big agenda posted, plus you'll have an app. We literally have created an app that we'll send to you, and you can download, and it'll give you the locations and the speaking times and the hours and everything you'd probably want to know while you're there. So more on that later, and you will get it if you are registered. There'll also be some photo ops. We'll have a couple of spots where you can take pictures with speakers or me or whoever you want. And in fact, I think we're going to have a photo op right after we do the show on the first night, aren't we, ladies? Yep.
Yes.
That means you get your photos taken with the Eagles or some band that looks very close to what the Eagles look like. They certainly sound like the Eagles anyway. So, even if you don't like the Eagles, you'll like these Eagles. Also, now let me get to the big one here, and that is our Deal-A-Thon. This truly is a big old Deal-A-Thon, and that means you guys should bring leads. A lead is a property information sheet. Now, property information sheets are all going to be called by our mentors. All of our mentors will be on site, and it is their responsibility to make sure all of your leads get called, and we're going to reach as many of them as we can with a couple of 3 tries and see how many deals we can construct on site. I can tell you that last year we did well over $6 million worth of deals, which was over 150 individual deals. About all I can remember of that, but I can tell you we're going to make a lot of money for you guys if you bring lead sheets to class. So here's how we can help you with that. Your deadline to send your lead sheets into Global to our VA department is January the 9th. And Jennifer, maybe you can jump in here and tell me exactly how that's going to work so I don't make a mistake and put my foot in my mouth.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to allow you guys to submit property information sheets, and the deadline is January 9th. During that week after they're submitted, you can only submit up to 5 yes-completed lead sheets, and we are going to contact the sellers and schedule appointments with them during the convention. So when you attend the convention, you'll have an appointment set with the seller and a mentor to call on your lead sheet. And we're going to try, the reason why we're allowing a maximum of 5 lead sheets is to make sure that we can get in touch as many people as we possibly can during the event. So you will receive your scheduled appointment time when you check into the event, and Pam Patton will be running the deal room. So you can also email your PI sheets to
pam@globalpublishinginc.com.
and get them in by 5 o'clock Eastern Time, the 9th. And then we will spend the rest of that week scheduling appointments with sellers.
All right, well, my first question would be, do I have to be signed up for the VA service to get my leads called?
You do not have to be signed up for us to set appointments with the sellers. However, if you are a virtual assistant client, we can contact leads for you and help you generate property information sheets. If you are not a virtual assistant client, then you can call or send in property information sheets that you've called or someone on your staff has called for you.
Right, so
however, you can always enroll. Yeah.
If we're not a client, they can submit 5 property information sheets with a yes, which means somebody has called them and the seller has said yes to one of the ABC terms questions on the sheet. Correct?
Correct.
All right.
Correct.
So do not send us sheets that you have not called and gotten a yes on. Our VAs will then call them and set an appointment for our mentors to call them live and negotiate the deal and read the scripts right while you're there. And if there's a deal there, we will make it. But if you're not a VA service member, we're only going to take 5 of those yes sheets from you because we've got too many folks to get called. If you are a VA service member, then you're already in the loop to get leads done for you, which means we can find them for you if they're online. And, of course, you should submit some of your own anyway. And, Jen, how's that going to work? If I'm signed up for our VA service, how many leads can I submit? I mean, actually, I'm already paying for the service, so I can probably get as many calls as we can get done during that time frame, right?
Right. And if you are a VA client, right, we do want to we want you to pick 5 of your lead sheets to turn them in for the convention.
Okay. So if I'm a client, it's business as usual, but we're still only going to take 5 of those leads to the convention. I mean, you can bring as many of them as you want, but we're only going to call the 5 you tell us to call to make an appointment for the mentor to call them. It still don't hurt you to bring them because there'll be plenty of people for you to sit down with and discuss them, plenty of time to do one-on-one conversations with our mentors, our staff, and whoever you want to wish to go over them. And frankly, you should. And especially if you're brand new, you should bring all the leads you can, and let's see if we can't turn them into deals. But, we have a limit how many we can get a hold of. Plus, if we get through the 5s that are brought, and we will, with this many, we'll probably have 10 mentors there. So we can get a lot of calling done. So if we get through the first batch and they have time left to call, then we will continue calling them after the first 5. So to be clear, if you're a VA member, if you are a member of our VA service, you can send whatever lead you want, but we're only going to call 5 to make appointments. If you're not a VA service client, then send only 5 that you want us to make appointments for. And again, they got to be yeses. And by the way, if you're not a VA service client, this would be a very good time to become one. So, Jennifer, let's talk about that. Where do you want them to go if they want to get a VA? Because, man, what a great time to get a VA, guys. Right ahead of the
that one.
Let us generate the leads for you.
Yeah. Sign up at ronsva.com. That's RONSVA.com. And as soon as we get that back to us, we'll get you settled up with a VA, and they can start generating PIs for you.
Okay, so all the information is right there. You have to be a Gold Club member to be able to hire a VA, but that's only $59 a month. And frankly, if you're not a Gold Club member, you will be anyway, so get signed up for that. And that's, where do you want them to go to be a Gold Club member?
They can join.
Yeah, they can join right there.
Right there on the same site.
All right, same site. If you're listening, you're probably a Gold Club member anyway, but if you're not, get to be a Gold Club member. Get all the benefits of that. Humongous membership site and forms and agreements and everything that's on it. It'll automatically entitle you to sign up for the VA service, and the VA service is only $105 for 5-hour time, 5-hour blocks, and you buy them as you need them. That'll give us plenty of time to generate some leads for you before you come to the event. And that means we call the property information sheets, and then we set the appointments for you if they come back with a yes. And, of course, that still does not alleviate your responsibility to send us some as well, because as I'll teach you when I get a chance, it's you need to generate leads on your own and get them to our VAs in addition to letting our VAs generate them for you. Plus, as a Gold Club member, you're going to get a daily feed of FSBOs right into your inbox. So if you're not aware of this, let me point this out right now. You got to go on your membership site, and you got to go over to the left, and it says FSBO leads. You got to punch on that and say, yes, I want them, and tell what 2 counties you want them in, and then you'll start getting them on your inbox. If you don't turn it on, though, you won't get any, and you'll be wondering why. So what timing? This thing starts on the 17th. And that gives you plenty of time right now to even get into the Gold Club system and get some leads generated, and also get some, if you're already in them, pile them up. Now, these leads are not going to go stale between now and the 17th, so let's get them piled up. 1 or 2 of them might be sold, but most of them will be around and very valid leads by the time we get them called. Remember, we start that on the 10th, so bring leads. If you want to fax them in, it's 888-840-8385, 888-840-8385. Now, Jen, should they write something on them so we'll know? We got to know where they came from and how to process.
They can write in the subject line in the email, if it's sent to Pam, they can write Summit PI sheet, and at the top of the property information sheet, if they fax it, they can write Summit PI sheet. And we will try to keep track, but if it's possible to send all 5 at the same time, that would be great. But if not, then we can compile them. And we will be sending back incomplete PI sheets and notifying you if they're incomplete.
All right, so just write Summit. Just write Summit in the upper right-hand corner on there, big enough so that it's easily spotted, and we'll know what they're for. Mm-hmm. Okay, and if you you don't know how to fill out a property information sheet, you haven't done it before, go to ronlegrand.com, and right on the home page you'll get a lesson on how to do that and why I want the stars filled in, and how make sure that you capture enough information for us to actually do anything with the sheet once we get it. And so what's going to happen there is the deal room. Jen, you want to go ahead and explain what happens when they get there and how these leads are processed?
When they get there, there will be a special deal room set up that's exclusive for the sellers, for the mentors and the students to contact your sellers. And when you check in, you'll be notified of the hours of operation of the deal room, and you'll also be notified of your scheduled appointment time. Now this year, because we have the new app that we're going to be using, we will be sending push notifications as well if you're able to download the app of your meeting time. But you'll get all of the information when you check in of when you are to report to the deal room, when your appointment is set, and we'll remind you throughout the event as well.
All right.
I think Saturday will be the last. We will not be calling. We have not planned on calling leads or property information sheets on Saturday.
Cannot do it. We're following up on the ones we've already called.
Correct.
Plus, we actually have to give our mentors a little bit of time off, don't they, or they will revolt on us.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
there will be specific hours of operation for the deal room, and that is to make sure that our students can participate in all the sessions that are important to them.
And by the way, we're going to take questions when we're through, and if you wanted to ask a question, you got to hit *6 to get in, and that'll put you in the queue. Make note. A couple more things. Dress. We prefer you wear clothing, but it doesn't have to be fancy clothing. And, of course, bring your bathing suit if you want to go polar dipping with us. And other than that, it's just dress normal. Frankly, you won't even need a tie. We are in Florida. For all you snowbirds, the weather's beautiful down here. You couldn't ask for a more beautiful day than we have out here right now. And on January, between the 17th and the 21st, we guarantee good weather. Don't we, Jennifer? We guarantee good weather, at least inside. So.
Yes, guaranteed.
Okay. All right. So come dressed for Florida, but who knows? Might get chilly, so make sure you bring at least a light jacket. And it'll be very unlikely you need more than a light jacket, but hey, you can check the weather report before you come, so you'll know how to dress. But it'll be casual dress throughout. One more thing, and that is, as you check in, you are going to be giving a couple of courses as a bonus. You may or may not remember, but we promised you. I taped a 2-day time management course recently, and we have not released that yet. And we've got it edited, and we're going to have that ready for you. And frankly, I'm really glad that I can give that to you, because I find that time management is one thing that people need a lot more attention to, and it's very rare I find somebody who's mastered that craft. So I'm going to show you how I get so much done, and how you can keep your promises and have others keep them to you, and not wander around in a circle, always wondering what's next, and be in constant chaos. So I'm happy for you to get that 2-day set of CDs. And you'll get them when you check in, along with the manual that we used in class. And you're also going to get another course, which is the 1 day from the last summit. It's called A Day with the Legends. And I listened to it, and I thought it was so darn good. We got to get this on tape and get it out. So we're going to give you that as well, and that's with myself and Robert Allen and Russ Whitney and Al Lowry, the old guys. And when it was all over, I did a session called Getting to the Next Level. So I think you really enjoy those. All in all, pretty valuable set of CDs and manuals you're going to get just when you check in. And that'll be one per couple now, one per entity, not one per person. All right, hotel. In case you have not registered yet, Jenna, we do have rooms, don't we?
We do have just a few left, but not very many.
Okay. We're going to be at the Hilton Daytona Beach Resort. Hilton Daytona Beach Resort. And the phone number is 386-254-8200. That's 386-254-8200. Get registered right now. Can I still get the room rate? What was it? I forgot what the rate was.
Until January 3rd.
Okay.
They can get the room rate under our block, and I don't know off the top of my head what it is.
I don't either. Debbie, do you? Seems like it was 119, if I'm not mistaken. but I might be wrong.
I think it was actually 159.
159?
That
Okay.
is right. It's
I can
159.
verify.
Okay, because we are on the ocean. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to get up early and take a walk out on the beach, this is your chance. I wouldn't be surprised if Nikki doesn't organize some run or something like that. So if you happen to be inclined to go out and do physical work, best place to do it would be on the beach and collect some shells and watch the seagulls and whatever. So, guys, my list is over. Do you have anything else you would like to add? And we're going to open it up for questions if we have any of those.
No, I don't have anything else.
How about you, Debbie?
No, I don't. I did verify the room rate is 159 under our room block.
Okay. All right, hit star 6 if you have any kind of questions. You can do that right now. Do we have anybody holding?
We have nobody oh, wait, hold on a second. I'll send a caller through right now, Ron.
Okay.
Okay, Floyd, are you on the call?
Yes.
Go ahead, Floyd.
Yes, my question was, as far as trying to get a hold of the owners, some of these sellers, should we be making an appointment for the night that we're going to be trying to call them? Or
no, you call a seller, Floyd, and fill out the property information sheet, and then tell them that you and your partner will be getting back to them on the, let's call it the 18th or the 19th. And then we will call and set that appointment.
Okay, that sounds good.
Okay, and that would be the right time to do it, during the 18th or the 19th. And remember, you got to ask the questions on the property information sheet, either A, B, or C, which one is applicable. And if you're not schooled on that, go to ronlegrand.com and watch my video on it. It's only about, 17 minutes, I think. Okay? By the way, guys, if you don't bring leads, you're going to hate yourself.
Okay, Ron, on the call now we have Paul.
Okay.
Hey, this is Paul from up in Milwaukee.
Hey, Paul.
Looking for.
So your weather really sucks up there, doesn't it?
Cold. Yeah, it's floating between 20s and 40s every day. It alternates,
Well, that's not bad.
No, but it was in the zero range last week. So
that's bad.
And plenty of snow that I want to get away from for a few days. So my question is. Okay,
go ahead.
My question is related to the FSBO leads that are sent out. If multiple people send in the same county, do you send the same leads to all those same people?
If you are a member of our VA client service and there are other clients in your counties, we the first one in with that lead will be processed. But yes, we reserve the right to share those leads with other people because we generated the leads. If you send in the lead, Paul, it will be shared with no one.
Right. Okay. So in other words, I could actually be told by person I called that they've already talked to somebody.
Well, you might hear that quite often, actually. But what difference does it make? When the seller is ready to take action, is when you're going to get a yes. Doesn't make any difference if they've talked to anybody or not. Besides, you don't know what that conversation was like when they talked to somebody. They probably screwed it up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I just wanted to know, be prepared.
It's surprising, actually, how very little duplication we actually have.
Okay. Good. And that's
Paul,
all I needed. I just got to get busy on it.
Paul, make note, once you get down here to Florida, you just may not want to go back.
I've been there a few times. I'm starting to say that more often.
Okay. See you soon.
Thank you.
Anybody else there?
Okay, next caller. I don't have a name, but you're in the queue.
Okay.
Hello, this is Faye. Hey, this is Faye Dawkins.
Oh, hey, Faye.
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Okay, my first question. I got on right at 12:01, and I missed the first night because Wednesday. I know some people came by mistake last time on this Wednesday, but doesn't something start the afternoon before? The Tuesday I missed.
Tuesday at 7 p.m., Faye. That's when the festivities start, and that's when the show is at night. Tuesday, not Wednesday. Wednesday we start at 8 a.m. And yes, we did back it up a day, so you can get out of there Saturday night or Sunday morning. We intentionally let you, made Saturday the last day.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, next caller.
Hello, Law Hilson here. I am trying to figure out where did you say I needed to send the PI sheets?
Okay. Where, Debbie?
Okay, those will go to Pam at globalpublishinginc.com.
Pam at globalpublishinginc.com. Don't forget the ink now, guys, the INC. globalpublishinginc.com. Okay?
Or you can fax them to 888-840-8385.
385. Okay. And was there? I heard something about a way to get the leads coming from you guys prior to.
Are you a Gold Club member?
I was, but I'm getting ready to rejoin today.
Okay.
Is that the way that we'll do it?
Yep. Well, first you just go to the website, ronsva.com.
Okay.
Or is it VAs, girls? Is it VAs, VAS?
It's just VA.
Okay,
Yeah.
ronsva.com. You can join the Gold Club right there and simultaneously get VA service if you want it.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. All right.
All right, next.
Okay, next caller.
Hi, my name's Lori up in Seattle.
Hey, Lori.
Hi. I love you, by the way.
You couldn't probably get any further away and still be in this country, could you?
I know. Anyways, my question is there going to be opportunity to use my points? I have about 15 points.
How many?
15 or 1,600.
Okay, well, when you leave, you'll have none.
Okay, so we can use them while we're there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, one last caller, Ron.
Okay.
Hi, this is Kathy in St. Louis.
Hey, Kathy.
And my question is about the PI sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I use the VAs, and I haven't been getting the mortgage information with the completed sheets. There's been a lot of pushback from the sellers, even when I call them too. So when you're asking for completed sheets that we send in, do we have to have the mortgage information?
Well, it is not mandatory you have it, but honestly, if you don't get a yes answer to the A, B, or C, then the mortgage information is irrelevant anyway.
Well, they're actually saying yes, they want lease options.
Okay. Then bring them, and we'll have our mentors call them, and I promise you they'll get the mortgage information out of them.
Okay. All right.
In fact, I want you sitting there and listening to how they do it.
I agree. Thank you.
Make yourself a note. It's no big deal, I promise you. And by the way, if you're getting a lot of those with no mortgage information, you should be contacting Pam and having her go back to the VA and see if it's a VA issue or if there's some other issue.
Okay. All right.
You're always going to get some that say none of your business, but it shouldn't be a majority. It should be a very small minority.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Are we?
Ron, we have one last caller.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah. Hi, Ron. This is Lisa.
Hi.
I'm up in cold Michigan.
Oh, sorry.
I know. I had a question about the VA lead sheet. When I came to Orlando to the event that you had there,
Quick Start.
Quick Start. Yep. I'm not sure how you get your lead sheets. So let's say, do I call my VA, and I am a Gold Club member, do I call my VA, and have them start the sheets now, and will they still be good by the time I get there? I don't know where to start or
they'll be good.
To start getting those filled out.
No, they'll be good. You want to get them as soon as you can.
Okay.
I'm sure occasionally we'll find one that's sold, but so what? Usually they last longer than that. So, yeah, get them as soon as you can, and just get us 5 good ones. So your VA should start generating leads for you now, but remember, they can only generate leads that are on websites. You should also look at your inbox and send them those leads that are in your area that you want them to call. But you really should drive around and look for some FSBO signs in front of houses while you're at it. And run your own ad. I buy houses on Craigslist and a couple other. I'll get your VAs to do it for you, actually, and see what you can generate on your own.
Okay, so I can fill out and call the lead sheets myself also?
Certainly.
Okay. And I should just start doing that now, just get a hold of the VA, and what do I send the VA? If I find a house, I just give them the address?
That's all they need, the address and phone number.
Yeah, okay.
Certainly, but remember, you're hiring VAs to call and fill out those property information sheets for you, Lisa, and that's probably what you ought to let them do.
Yeah.
Then they send them back to you.
Okay.
They send them back to you when they get them done. You just got to let us know which 5 you want us to call and make appointments to talk with while we're at the convention.
Okay, because I guess my main concern is when do I start to do that? Like
about in 20 minutes.
Okay, right when I get off the phone.
Why not?
Thank you.
No reason to wait.
Yep. I just didn't know when to start that. If it had to be a week before, or what.
Well, you're a ways out right now as we're taping this, but just make sure that you tell our VAs that you want these for the summit. Because, look, you're going to have to generate more than 5 leads to get 5 yes leads. So get started, all of you. Get started now.
Okay. And then they'll have an idea because we're going to do it for the summit, and they can kind of maybe do it when they feel that it's right. Or
I'd say any leads you generate right now, you just tell them they're for the summit, and after the 9th, they'll start calling and making appointments. So the appointment will only be a few days after they start calling.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. See you in Daytona.
Okay, Ron, do we have time for a couple more questions?
Yeah, why not? We're going to use up this hour after all, aren't we? Go ahead.
We are. Okay, this is Jackson. Go ahead.
Jackson.
Good afternoon, Ron. How are you?
Outstanding. You should see this weather.
I'm looking forward to being up there with you. Got a question for you. Currently have a VA on the Gold Club and getting leads in. We, too, are not seeing the mortgage information on the lead sheets. If you get one that is a yes and that has an appraisal, and that there is about a $60,000-$70,000 spread from the asking price to his recent appraisal, would you consider a lead like that too hot to wait till the 17th on the summit? And if so, how would you recommend a student to go about getting an appointment and getting on that prior to the summit?
Well, if you're skilled enough at what you're doing, I'd get on the phone with them right away, and I'd get the loan information. They'll give it to you. And honestly, if it's a hot lead like that, no, I wouldn't sit around and wait for the summit as long as you know what to do with it.
Well, and that's the point. No, sir. We've been to several events. Actually, my son is a Gold Club member. He's 21 in college, and introduced him to you. And so I'm going along this ride with him. And he's got some leads from his VA that he started. And he's got one here, and then he's got another one free and clear, which I've heard you love those from some of the other ones. So he's got 2, really good leads here. And I know you said that the leads won't go stale before then, but if they look a little hot, I just wanted your opinion on whether he should sit and wait until the 17th, or if you could advise him this will be his first deals that he'll be doing.
That's hard for me to answer because I don't know how he's going to be on the telephone. I don't want him to destroy this good prospect if he's inexperienced and don't know what to say and don't have the scripts in front of him. We'll be giving you the scripts if you don't already have them at the event to call the sellers. So, you know your son better than me. It's a risk if he does it now with limited input. I can tell you that right now. You got a better shot at getting the deal done if we're doing it for you.
Okay, so you think that just take the chance of waiting then until the 17th?
Why don't you call him? Why don't you call a seller?
Well, I will. I will. I mean, sit here.
Well,
I've gone through. We've got this stuff printed out. So I mean, I'm not.
You got
learning
the
your
scripts
system along with.
You got my scripts.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You got my scripts to call a seller after you get the property information sheet.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
The ones that you had posted on the summit. Yes, the ones
Okay.
you just gave us here last week.
All right. Then why don't you call a seller and if they truly want terms, tell them you're leaving town and you won't be back until the 18th, and I'll have to get back to them then.
Okay.
How's
Fair
that?
enough. I'll do it.
Okay.
Thanks, Ron.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ron, last caller. You're in the queue.
I've heard that before.
Hi, Ron. David. I was wondering what day you're going to be doing your contract class on.
Actually, I'm not. I'm going to hand you a DVD where I do my contract class for an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll work.
Uh-huh. That'll save a lot of time for class time, and then I don't have to bore the folks who don't want to watch that. So I'd rather
is that also going to be true of the entity structuring and the...
No. I'll be doing entity structuring live now.
Okay.
And I'll be handing you out some forms on that as well that you'll get there. And, well, that's it, but not contract. Contracts, about half the room don't need to watch a contract class, and the truth is we're going to help you fill out contracts on every deal that we negotiate while you're there, and we're going to review them before you leave to make sure that you do leave with a good contract that you can take and present. But sitting there in class and going over them, let me tell you what I learned. People's eyes start glazing over and they fall asleep on me anyway.
I would believe that. Okay.
I'm going to give you the DVD.
Okay, that sounds cool. And I've already got some leads I'm going to be sending in here in the next day.
Right.
So I want to get those worked on. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
All right. Debbie?
That's all the callers we have, Ron.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on January the 17th in Daytona Beach, Florida.